So this is the loan protocol, right? And these markets here, Ripple, XRP, and LTC, you can see here the earn APY is 0.00, right? It's been like that for years. They literally just voted on the governance to start giving rewards for those who lend out their LTC and XRP on this loan protocol. So this sliver of a percent or basically 0% is going to change. Like, you've always been able to borrow and lend out your XRP. I mean, it only makes sense to borrow against it if you're going to lend it out because you're not making shit. But with this new voting, passed, we're going to be able to get rewards when we lend out our XRP on this lending protocol, bro.
Yeah, I love the research that you've been doing with Marsh Laner and MetalX and whatnot. And I think it's cool too that even just sitting right there on USD coin for lending out, you can earn 34%. That's a high yield savings account right there.
Higher than 100% high yield savings account.
It throttles down to like maybe 20 and it goes up as high as like 40. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mind putting $1 million in there, lending it out with that type of APY all day. I'll take it. What is that going to average out to be? Like $280,000 a year type of shit? You know what I mean? I'll take it. Yeah.
And wasn't there a vault that you just found a second ago, bro, where they had $350,000 worth of XDC in that vault for 120 days, and we did the math, and that's $31,500 in 120 days that someone earned in terms of yield on that XDC. Didn't you just pull that up when we were on the phone a second ago?
Yeah. Hold on, let me share it right now. Hold on. Once it loads up here, hold on. I gotta stop sharing and then share again. Hold on one second.
I think Kev would like to see that one because that one sparked a little fire inside me because I got a lot of XDC.
So I'm gonna put how much XDC.
All right, so check this out. So you guys can see so this is Zoth Finance, Zoth Come check this stuff out. I mean, it's mad legit, right? But check this out. They got this pool right here, or this vault, that's basically called Invoice Factoring Pool with Neo Bank from Central America. It has $3.5 million in it. The pool size, the vault size is up to $7 million, but they're earning 12%. And then what you were just talking about, what I was sharing with you, is this XDC pool vault that max capacity was 350,000, and it reached its peak, right? So it maxed out at 350K because they were paying out 9%. And this was on the XDC chain as well. So like, yeah, guys, like this is what's going to turn up these chains, bro. I wouldn't be surprised too if you probably go back and look at when this vault was active and this 350K came in, if like we seen like a price fluctuation with the price of XDC, because I wouldn't think there's too much still locked up on the XDC chain right now. There's still a lot being built, you know.
You know what? I want to cap on something that you just said, because I think that a lot of people are putting off learning about DeFi and real world assets and fractionalized ownership and, you know, generating yield, taking your passive assets and turning them into, you know, yield generating assets. I got this video. You said that and it clicked for me. I have this video of David Schwartz. I'm trying to look in my notes right now and find it, but it's of him at Apex sitting in on an interview with CoinDesk, some CoinDesk representative, and he specifically said that he thinks the next big wave of institutions are going to come into this space through these mechanisms: DeFi, fractionalized ownership, real world asset tokenization, you know, generating yield, so on and so forth. So I wanted to play that. I'm gonna find it here in a second, but that's dope, bro. That's dope. Isn't there another platform, Kev, that you found while I'm looking for this that had an XDC announcement recently?
XDC announcement? I think
was it Prime? Was it Prime?
I think it was Prime Numbers, Prime Number Lab.
If you have it, could you pull it up for just a second? I'm gonna try to find this video real quick. CoinDesk.
Yeah. Pull them up right now.
I know I got the video. I just gotta find it.
Oh yeah, liquid staking. You can liquid stake on prime numbers now.
Can you share your screen? Run over that real quick. Look, click it. What's that? What are we sitting at right there on there? But for the record, by the way, for anybody that's listening in, you know, these platforms, these protocols that we're diving in, we have a strategy around this. We're not just diving into these protocols and these platforms, risking our hard-earned digital assets. We have a requirement threshold that we meet, and if it doesn't, or a requirement threshold that these protocols need to adhere by before we enter into them or risk our capital. And so don't just think that because we're talking about these protocols or whatever that we're sitting here actively using them, because a lot of them we're sitting on ice and we're waiting for things like the TVL to increase or better audits to come about, or just more longevity in the protocol itself from when it initially launched. So I just want to make that clear, because Aqua just brought up a platform that was showing some XDC yield vaults or whatever it was. I don't want people to think to just go over there and start providing liquidity. That's not how it works, right? You're going to get wrecked in DeFi if you don't take a strategical approach and start to learn this stuff properly. The reason why we show you guys this stuff, in my personal opinion, just me, I mean, Aqua and Kev can speak for themselves, but is to educate you guys and make aware these opportunities. We're still stuck in this day and age where people think that it's ideal to sell their digital assets for fiat, when in reality, everything is transitioning over to this new digitally native infrastructure. Now's the time to start to learn how to keep yourself embedded into crypto, to keep yourself embedded into Web3. And like Kev has said in the past, shout out to Kev for this one, this is like a staple in our community, is learn how to generate cash flow, right? Learn how to generate cash flow with your digital assets to stay embedded into digital finance, and turn your passive assets into active assets. Right? Turn your static assets into active assets. So yeah, anyways, go ahead, Kev, if that's the platform. I'm still looking for this video.
Okay. So yeah, guys. So I mean, Prime Labs, I mean, they've been here for a while, and they've been building for a while on XDC. So I'm not surprised that they came out with this liquid staking. But what I haven't done this yet though. Have any of you put any XDC up yet into here?
I know somebody from our community. I think it was CryptoTillion in our community. I don't know why that name just rings a bell. I remember being on a private Zoom call with you guys. I don't remember if it was your call, Kev, or one of Aqua's, where he was like, yeah, he tested it out and he said that the yield's been working and whatnot, but it was just a test amount that he ran with. I don't remember specifically what he said.
So like,
I don't know what just happened. Your mic went bananas.
My bad. I said, I'm actually gonna put like 50K XDC in here and give it a shot and see how this goes.
Yeah, let everybody know how it works for you. You know, assess your risk and move from there. I'm trying to find this video. I know they freaking posted it, dude. I want to play that video before we go too off topic, because I like showing people that, you know, the lead engineers of these protocols and these, you know, for example, the XRPL, the lead engineer of XRPL is telling you guys, you know, the next big wave of institutional adoption is not going to necessarily come right away from cross-border remittances and, you know, payments and whatnot. A lot of it's going to come from them being able to put their liquidity to work, right? From them being able to take these static assets, for example, one of the biggest assets in the industry, like XRP, where if you look at the total market cap for XRP right now, it's sitting at maybe 127 billion or something like that right now. Something like that, around that. And most of that is just sitting dormant on centralized exchanges. None of it's active in the DeFi ecosystem. And now that's all about the shit.
Bro, XRP's DeFi TVL is about to skyrocket.
Skyrocket, bro. Can you imagine when XRPL DeFi is sitting at 60 billion?
Bro, XRP is gonna be at like, I ain't gonna say nothing crazy, bro. You know that.
I'll say something crazy, bro. You kidding me? It's gonna be trillions of dollars eventually, bro. When that day comes, I don't know, but that's where we're going for sure. Kidding me?
Let me look at my freaking history. I don't even know why I just didn't do that first. Hold up. I'm determined to find this video. I have a really good memory of all the shit that I watched, so I know I'm gonna find this video of David Schwartz.
I want to talk about Say, honestly. Like Say and this MCP. Have you heard of the model conflict protocol? So now AIs can do transactions on Say.
Wait, hold on. What? Nah, bro, you're way into the weeds of Say than more so than I am.
Yes, Say. Don't sleep on Say. Get some Say. Ooh, it's not showing, but oh my.
I got Say. I'm staking my Say right now. I'm with Say. I just haven't done research on like all the protocols like you have that are on Say. I'm not doing anything on my Say with my Say except just staking it right now and earning. I think it's like 3.5% or something.
Oh yeah, dude. You cannot integrate AI with Say. So dude, Say is gonna be crazy. And I'm glad we caught on to this thing at like what 14 cents, like 14 to 18 cents.
Yeah, we beat Donald Trump World Liberty Finance investment on Say.
Like, oh, dude, AI agents is really the next wave. This is this cycle. Like that's this cycle's niche.
Oh, what did Ember just say? Ember Cole in the thing in the chat. Can you guys read that?
Stake, borrow against, buy real estate, tokenize real estate, borrow more, stake more, repeat. Is this the way out of the matrix? Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is.
It's definitely a lot more to it, right? There's strategy behind it, but in a nutshell, it's something. It's. Let me put it this way: that's a strategy that could possibly be utilized. So you choose to learn it properly and educate yourself properly and protect yourself properly to do it, right? I mean,
yeah. But that in a nutshell, he's on it though. That's stake it, borrow it, buy more, lend it out, borrow more.
Yeah.
Get what you need. Print, baby, print.
Facts, bro.
All right, let me look at my bookmarks. I swear to God, I'm gonna find this video. Y'all can keep talking while I'm watching, while I'm looking for this thing. I'm gonna find it.
What are you looking for exactly? Like
I'm looking for that David Schwartz video where he's like, yeah, it's not going to be what everybody thinks it's going to be. That's going to bring institutions in. It's going to be fractionalized ownership and tokenization of real world assets and DeFi.
Yeah, you got to show that because there's still so many people in the XRP army that still feel that like it's going to be retail that moves the needle for XRP. And like some crazy news is going to come out and that's what's going to move the needle. And it's not. What's going to move the needle is total value locked on the XRPL. And it's going to take more XRP army members to start participating on chain.
Yeah.
And, you know, playing with with all these different protocols. I mean, start with $1.50. I mean, start somewhere, you know.
Or just learn. You don't even have to start risking your assets. You can just take a course or read a document or start going over to the protocols themselves and reading the docs of the protocol. And most of the protocols nowadays have how-to videos and you can just teach yourself. You don't even have to risk your assets type thing. You know, I always try to convey to people that they don't need to expose themselves to DeFi to learn about it, because that's the truth. You know, so many people are like, oh, you guys are trying to tell people to get involved in DeFi. I'm like, no, the fuck we're not. We're just trying to tell you guys to learn about it. Read a document for once in your life type shit, you know?
Yeah, but 100%. It's crazy. Like, why wouldn't you want to get involved in DeFi? You know, it's like, it's what makes crypto like a full circle, you know? It's literally what makes the whole thing move, make sense. Like, otherwise, crypto is just like another stock. You're just buying with price appreciation. So it doesn't make sense for you to just be like, DeFi is garbage. I don't want to learn about it. When and you like to purchase cryptocurrency. It goes hand in hand, man. You gotta learn it.
That's what I was saying yesterday on my TikTok live, bro. I was telling the people, I was like, look, if you're going to hold on to these assets for a lifetime, or if you're one of those people that are like, I'm never selling my XRP, like, well, what else are you going to do with it? Like, what are you going to do from now till then? Like, you should get it working for you. And the way I feel like you can hang on to XRP for a lifetime is by putting it to work, making cash flow for you. Like this whole thing of, you know, selling it and, you know, at a certain price point, Like, why would you do that when you this asset is basically a stream of income coming your way type of thing? You know what I
I
mean?
always say it like this, bro. I always say it like this. You know, you got two people. And you're the type of person that's like, I'm never going to sell my XRP. Okay, you fit into that category. You got two people. Well, first person just holds on to XRP for 10 years, does nothing with it. It's just a static asset, and all they do is benefit from the mentality that the price appreciation brings to them. Because if they never sell it, how are they benefiting? How are they profiting off that asset, technically speaking? Because you don't profit until you sell, right? You don't profit till you pay yourself. It's all just numbers on your digital phone in terms of ones and zeros and maybe a couple of other numbers until you pay yourself, right?
Facts.
Whereas vice versa, you have somebody on the opposite side of the spectrum that participates in yield, learns how to DeFi properly, whether that's through yield farming, being a liquidity provider, lending, borrowing, staking, liquid staking, all these different primitives and DeFi strategies that you could partake in. Let's just throw an average out there. Let's say they just yield. They yield farm for the next 10 years and they earn 5%. And 2.5% of that XRP every single day, because it's daily rewards, even though it's an annual yield, you can earn daily rewards with that yield. 2.5% of that per year, they pay themselves passive income. And the other 2.5%, they compound back on top of their initial bags. Who's going to have more money and more XRP at the end of that 10 years? It's going to be the person that participated in DeFi. So they, of course, choose to do it securely, which there are ways to do that in DeFi. Bro, it's going to be the person that fucking uses DeFi. Like it's so easy to see.
Yeah, super facts, bro.
Like it's a fact that when I first bought my first XRP was December 2016, and then vast majority of my XRP in 2017. If I had the ability to stake my XRP for just 3% between then and where we're at now, bro, my portfolio for XRP alone would be triple, if not quadruple, what it is now.
No, that's real.
Yeah. Imagine if I know about staking from get-go. I would have staked my Ethereum. Now, you know how much Ethereum I'd have? Oh, man.
So, you know, people that neglect DeFi, and the crazy part is these regulators, these high-end entities, they're paying attention to that. As a matter of fact, after we play this David Schwartz video, I'll roll into that portion of this call real quick. I'll just show you guys that the landscape in DeFi is changing. The entire rhetoric is changing. For example, if you've been in the XRP community, I'm just using XRP as an example, not an XRP maxi. I'm diversified. XRP and Ripple research is just easy to do because they're always kicking ass in this space, right? But there's more than meets the eye. But if you just, you know, if you just look at what was announced recently by large organizations, researchers have had a hard time proving that organizations are telling you directly to your face what they're actually going to use XRP for. It was always speculation that it was going to be utilized in cross-border payments or as a bridge asset or this and that. Well, now for the first time ever, over the past, let's just say 6 months, we've actually had organizations with valid credentials that are listed on the stock exchange come out and directly say what they're going to use XRP for. And if you've been paying attention, there have been two big ass organizations that are about to make a huge investment into XRP that have told you all directly to your face that they're going to use their XRP to generate yield and pay their stakeholders. And if that doesn't show you enough proof that this is about to be the future, I don't know what else will, but that ends all the speculation that organizations aren't going to use XRP because they're telling you now that they are. It's not speculation anymore. Before, like 2-3 years ago, it was speculation. We could never really find documents where an organization would directly come out and be like, hey, we're going to use this digital asset and specifically name it and for this purpose. It was always speculation. But now, nah, that's not the landscape that we're in now.
That's real. I mean, just that BIS document that you've been sharing the past few weeks and the whole Alice connection and Ripple touching on that, like, man, come on. Too easy, bro, to see. You're muted though, bro.
Well, I was just going to say, so do you remember specifically what you said a second ago and why I wanted to play this video? Because you had mentioned something about how this is going to be. Do you remember what you said? Why I wanted to bring this video up?
Man, no, I forget what. Yeah. I knew it was something that I had said. Go ahead.
I think you were talking about or I was talking about how most people, oh yeah, you were talking about the XRP community on TikTok or whatever. They're always just talking about how it's going to be cross-border payments or this other aspect of utility that XRP brings. And most people don't even understand that, you know, the people that built the XRP ledger are telling you guys the opposite. And most people, it's weird that they don't know that, you know, like most people are always trying to debunk. They're always trying to debunk what David Schwartz tweets out on Twitter,
Exactly.
but they're never trying to listen to what he says.
Man, I swear to God, you hit the nail with the hammer. And like that's what sounds like weird to me, especially like if you get into like a debate with these people. It's like, well, that's cool. You're saying that, and I can hear your opinion on that. But like, did you see what David Schwartz just said 2 weeks ago at Apex 2025? Like he said the exact opposite, and he's saying that it's going to be through basically DeFi institutions. Like, remember this. Remember a year ago, I feel like the sentiment was different. Like they thought like, oh, there's a chance right now for retail to front run the institutions. And because the XRP army never woke up to DeFi, that never ended up happening. And that window is now closed. And now David, his sentiment and David's talk track has changed to saying now it's the institutions again that are being front runners, bro.
Yo, pull that fucking video up of I got the notes. I know, bro, I swear to God, this team is one of the best research teams on the internet because everything that we're saying we can back up. Don't forget that talk track that you just mentioned, because remember that video where David Schwartz is sitting on stage with Sergey, right? That you played from Ondo. Do you have that?
Right. Yeah, I got that. I could pull that up too, right?
I got the notes on that because David Schwartz, I just got to find my notes in my journal right here. I'll find it. But David Schwartz said exactly what you just said, that it used to be that retail had the upper hand, but now that institutions have caught on, it's not like that anymore. And now institutions are going to freaking supersede the retail traders. Like literally word for word, bro. I got the notes. Watch, pull that up. I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this video, bro. But I just love that we just have actual verbal confirmation instead of like all these other Twitter influencers that are trying to like debunk David Schwartz's tweets, when instead we could just show you exactly what David Schwartz said.
Yeah, exactly, bro. It's too easy. It's like
just listen to what they're saying. Is if you're listening to what David Schwartz says, we're not speculating here. We're actually going off of what he's telling us instead of trying to put our own perspective and opinion into gematria with his tweets and shit, you know?
Yeah. Like we form our opinion. It's aligned with what these guys are saying. And it's been aligned with what these guys have been saying for over a year now, if you think about it. And that's like where we're getting our opinion from. Like the whole, when I was like saying like institutions are feeling FOMO, I didn't make that up. That's what Ian DeBunty said, the chief strategy officer at Ondo Finance. He said that when he was on stage with Monica Long. You know what I mean? So it's just listening to what these guys are saying and then forming your opinion around that. Like there's just too much opinions on the other side of the wall that are not tapped into this information. And it's just a bunch of opinions brewing and brewing and brewing. And that's the scary part, because when you're new to crypto too, it's like you're a magnet to all that garbage when you first come into crypto, and you get trapped in that garbage low key. And you know, and I'm not saying every platform out there is garbage. There's platforms that I enjoy, and there's people that I enjoy their work and stuff. But what I'm trying to say is there's more garbage out there debating opinions that are not aligned with these head honchos that are on the stage telling us stuff. And they've been telling us stuff for years now. Because how long has Apex been going on? I believe this was their 6th year they've done Apex. And it's just like, how many people have been taking notes and listening to what they're saying at Apex? Not many, but we are. Shit.
Hello, I have, which is why I have 7 figures in my portfolio. Hello. Oh man, it cracks me up. All right, so let's play this video clip. Can you pull that video up that we were just chatting about? Because I'm going to find my notes and I want to play the clip of David Schwartz where he said exactly what you mentioned about retail now trailing behind institutions. But this is the video clip of him pretty much saying that he's excited about real world asset tokenization, fractionalized ownership, and that the next big wave of adoption from institutions is going to come through, DeFi and RWAs and whatnot. So just listen to this video. It's like a maybe 2-minute long clip. And shout out to CoinDesk for this clip.
different sides of the spectrum come together?
I think that's one of the great things about Apex. Apex was originally envisioned as a developer get-together, primarily for people who were building to share, technical insights and talk about strategy for, future development. And then it expanded to include retail XRP holders and people who are just enthusiastic about the space and interested in the technology. And I think the big change this year is that you see representatives of institutions who are looking to bring things like tokenized real-world assets onto the blockchain. And I think that's that's the big thing that's going to catalyze that next wave of adoption, that real mass growth that we're all hoping to see.
Talk to me about the innovation that's happening. And you're the co-creator of the chain, so I want to get into your head a little bit. What are some of the most important innovations that are happening on XRP Ledger?
I think that if we are going to see the sort of mass adoption of the blockchain space and DeFi, broadly speaking, it's going to have to provide the kind of financial services that ordinary people need. Collectibles are great, and speculation in very high risk assets is interesting. But if you think about what people need a financial system for, they need things like loans, they need payments, they need sensible investments, retirement funds, all of those kinds of things. And I think the most exciting developments are the ones that are going to build those pieces that we need for the DeFi and blockchain space to really take a bite out of that multi-trillion-dollar TradFi market.
From a technical perspective, what needs to happen for us to get there?
I think the big thing is being able to support things like tokenized real-world assets, portfolios of loans, fractional ownership, all of the sort of complexities around the real-world holding of assets. If we can do that, then I think we can compete with TradFi, and that's that's a multi-trillion-dollar market. It's hundreds of times the current DeFi market.
That man had to have said DeFi at least 4 or 5 times in that spiel just now.
Yeah.
And what he said at the end there, he said 100 times the amount of what's in the DeFi TVL right now, bro. So,
and so
if we take 100 billion times 100, what is that? Trillions of dollars we're now talking about.
And you got these people that are like, oh, he's just saying DeFi. They're not talking about like DeFi and putting your idle digital assets to work. No, he's talking about the DeFi TVL. If you go look at DeFi Llama, right, go look at the TVL. That's the ecosystem he's talking about. He's talking about lending, borrowing, fractionalized ownership, putting your liquidity to work. All this AMM feature that just launched on the XRPL last year, right? He's talking about that stuff. And it's like, yo, you got the freaking head honcho or one of the head honchos of the XRP Ledger sitting here on stage telling you all that the next big wave of institutional adoption is going to be through these DeFi primitives, and you're still not paying attention. Y'all, come on now. It's 2025. These price predictions and these bullish Moonboy, Hopium, Fibonacci spiral projections that have been getting y'all for the last 5 years are irrelevant when you know that now you don't have to sell your assets. You can pay yourself right now. Like
facts.
You can create your own wealth right now.
And him talking about real world assets, that's what we have to understand too as a community. Like once, like for example, PRIPCO, which is the Dubai tokenization of real estate in Dubai, and it's all regulated and everything is legal, right? So with that being said, every house that gets tokenized, that liquidity will now be on the XRPL. Think about if we have hundreds or thousands of houses tokenized on the XRPL. That's millions, if not billions, and it could add into trillions, because how much is the US market real estate? I always forget. People throw out the number, but I always forget. But imagine just a fraction of that being on the XRPL, because in my opinion, though, too, it's not the XRPL is not going to win everything as far as real world assets and everything's going to be tokenized there. I feel like there's going to be, the winners, and it's going to be different chains that have different TVLs, but with interoperability, it's all going to come together eventually, though, too. So, I mean, I don't know. Hopefully that's landing for some people, because I don't feel like people understand that part, too. Like when we say real world assets, like, do you understand the liquidity in real world assets? That's never really even been tapped into with TradFi.
You know what the crazy part is about what you just said is, I'm going to pull up a video, but do you have that Ondo Summit pulled up where?
So I sent it to you. So I got 2 videos. I got the video I wanted to just show everybody, the FOMO one with the Ondo finance guy, but then I sent you the Ondo Summit with David Schwartz side by side with Sergey. I don't know the timestamp though, because this is a 26-minute video. Do you know the timestamp on like where he said that at exactly? Or I could listen to it kind of like on 2.0 right now if you want to share some other stuff.
It's I think it comes at 14 minutes and 46 seconds.
Okay, hold on.
Into the video. If Bank XRP, because that's the link that you sent me.
That's the one I'm on. Yep. Okay.
So if you go to 14 minutes and 46 seconds, I got it pulled up. I got the link pulled up. I'll play that. But before we get off the talk track that you just brought, because you had just mentioned Pripco Mint, right? And probably I'd say that probably 80 to 90% of the XRP community still doesn't even know about that fundamental Pripco Mint and how, you know, they chose the XRPL to launch on. Or I don't know if they launched on it, but I think they utilized it as the initial blockchain to test it. Right. I don't know. So I don't want to like confirm or deny that. I have the fundamental pulled up. It's right here. We can go over that. But what solidified this news for me is this lady right here, Areli, she's the head of Ripple X, partner success at Ripple. Bro, this video was from 3 days ago. Shout out to the CYPRX researchers for this one. It only has 135 views. And in this, she says specifically that this organization chose Ripple. So I wanted to confirm that. Because you just mentioned Pripco Mint and you brought that up, and I always like to show people that we're not just making this stuff up. This is coming directly from them, type thing, you know. So, anyways, but let's go back to the talk track of Ondo, or the Ondo Summit, where David Schwartz said, when we were talking about retail now being led by institutions, and before retail, like the past maybe like 4 or 5 years, retail has had the upper hand if you've taken advantage. But now that opportunity is slowly fading away as more institutions come into the space. It's like people still think that we're going to see the same 4-year market cycle that we've seen lead the charge in crypto once an institution comes in and puts another $1 billion on chain, or another institution follows their lead and puts $5 billion on chain, and then another institution comes in and puts 500 million on chain. Like, you understand, like, these market cycles are going to start to fade into the background, and we're about to enter into a new whole era of finance in this crypto space. And I want you guys to hear David Schwartz pretty much confirm that for you all, that's the landscape that we're starting to transition into. So here's that video that Aqua was talking about, where David Schwartz is sitting on stage with Sergey. Sergey's talking about earning yield on gold. Didn't he say something like that?
Yeah, earning yield on gold. And this is where Sergey because the question was, what are you most excited about, in this new financial ecosystem in DeFi? And he was like, being able to earn yield on precious metals. And then that's when he was like, earning yield. How about earning yield on the equity in your house? And that's what like prompted me to really start saying that whole breakdown that ended up going viral, and a bunch of people were trying to attack me for it. It's all good, bro. I mean, eventually y'all will find out. But yeah, I mean, hear it from the horse's mouth,
Yeah, I like to the comments that Amber just mentioned, are we going to be doing this now on a trusted and regulated platform? At the end of the day, for us here in the United States, there are no regulated platforms, at least to my knowledge, that offer this yet to retail traders at scale. I know that there's a lot of organizations working on it. Like, I don't know if Red Swan is an organization that's in the United States. I might be ignorant on that. I think they're partnered with Hedera. And I was watching an interview with the CEO of Red Swan the other day that mentioned he's trying to open up the doors to both retail and institutional investing through real-world asset tokenization, like real estate and fractionalized ownership. In Dubai, for example, there's this platform right now that launched called Pripco Mint, and it's a regulated platform by Vara, and they've been making major strides in the industry, where right now, if you live in Dubai, you can have this mobile application downloaded on your phone, and you can invest in tokenize and fractionalize ownership of, real estate, right? So to answer your question, yes and no. In some jurisdictions, yes. But for us personally, we're waiting. We're starting to build this into the idea behind our already pre-existing DeFi strategies. So that way, when the opportunity does present itself in a safe, secure, and regulated manner, which is what a lot of us in the Wealth 28 Club community are waiting for, we're prepared with knowledge and education. And that's the foundation behind what myself, Aqua and Kev are bringing to people in this space, right? Through CYPRX Wealth 28 Club, is we're empowering people with education, proper knowledge and information. So that way, when you're ready to pull the trigger, you understand what a liquidity pool is, how to be a liquidity provider, what wallets are compatible with different protocols, different risks that you could come across in the DeFi ecosystem, and all these things that YouTube doesn't really teach you, because YouTube just flaunts things to you and doesn't really get into the nitty gritty of how to do, what to do, when to do during different market cycles, during different market trials and tribulations that you might experience. And we do all that real time. We host educational Zoom calls all throughout the week in real time. We are transparent with our community. When the market reacts positively or negatively to news, we jump on calls. We're talking about what we're doing with our strategies, with what our portfolios are doing, how they're performing, like all these things that you can't grasp from YouTube because it's not real time. When you're in a community with real individuals and you have a question on the spot in the moment and you're in the CYPRX community, you don't have to wait for some response from some support team of some protocol you don't trust, because you could just ask people in the community that have probably already done or made a mistake as to what you're going over, and boom, you get your question answered just like that. So I hope Ember or Ember, excuse me, I don't know if that's how you say that, probably answered your question. I completely got off track. Let's go back to what we were discussing and talking about. I just wanted to answer that question. This is David Schwartz. I hope that I have the video timestamp properly of him saying what Aqua was mentioning about how retail traders now are losing the upper hand to institutions as more institutions flood in. Let's play this. Shout out to Bank XRP for this, by the way.
Don't have to understand the details of the technology that it works the best. And so it's getting that user experience. Interoperability is a big part of that. If it's like my money's over here, but the thing I want to do is over here, and I really have to think about that, that's too much work.
It's not worth the energy and effort.
And that's probably why institutional adoption is going to happen before mass retail adoption, because institutional adoption, that the complexity is not as big of a blocker.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Constantine, do you have anything to add to that about?
Right. So pretty much he's talking about the complexities of DeFi and how they still exist, and how retail traders just don't really have the time to grasp those concepts because right now it's just too complex. So institutions now, because they have the capital, the efficiency, and the teams to go in and have the people teach their institution DeFi, they're going to supersede or retail traders. And that's a red flag. Like, if you're not listening to that, this video, by the way, is only from 4 months ago. So it's from this year when he said that. Go ahead, Aqua. Did you unmuted?
No, I was just gonna say he said exactly what I said, and last year again, like, he had a video where he was saying that retail has the chance to front run institutions. I have to find that video. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna find it because I know I have a clip where I made it on my YouTube channel, so I'll find it and I'll share it next Friday, because I don't want to go on an Easter egg hunt right now. I'm trying to find it, but once I do, we could reshare all this stuff, and then I'll show again like how his sentiment in his head, that what his talk track is saying is completely changed up. And it makes sense because, like, let's think about it though too, man. I mean, DeFi is a little difficult. Like, we got some people talking about the WebAuth wallet and Metal X. Like, low key, there's a bunch of steps involved to just, swap for assets, having to connect your WebAuth wallet to the Metal X platform. You can't swap in your wallet without connecting and doing all that. I mean, and same thing with connecting and trying to tap into the liquidity pools and the farming pools. It's not like a one easy, one button push and you're there. There's a multiple steps. So I feel like once that really gets simplified, which I know it's coming, we're going to see the TVL really turn up. It just needs to be easy, and it needs to just make logical sense, I feel like. So to these people, not to us, like, we get it, but like, the normies, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of sad, man. Like, I think that the staple that Kev made in the community when he said that on that Zoom call that one time, where he was like, we went over this long presentation. It was the day that we were talking about, even you, Akko, because I had come up with like a little strategy, and then you were like, bro, if you put liquid staking at the front of that, when we were talking about liquid staking your XRP, then lending that liquid staking token out, and then borrowing against it, buying a real estate property, tokenizing that real estate property, and having physical tenants at that real estate property, if it's like a triplex or something where you can, or if it's I mean, if you have enough money in the future to buy an apartment condominium or whatever, having physical tenants as well as you're getting that tokenization rental income as well, and then using that to pay back your loan. And at the end, it was that call where Kev was like, yo, the new strategy is cash flow. It's not price appreciation is cool. Have a diversified bag where you can take some profits, roll them into stables, regulated stable coins like YLDS, and earn up to 3 to 11%, right? For your profit taking bag. But then your digital assets that you're going to hold, cash flow, baby. Cash flow is king.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cash
man.
flow is king. Go ahead, Kevin.
Cash flow is king, bro. Like when you can borrow against your, those assets that you have just sitting there doing nothing. You just cash flow them and just
tokenization gives these real estate, investors another stream of cash flow coming in on equity on properties that are a part of their portfolio. And that equity was never in the past, and even right now, most people just think like the only way to tap into that equity is to call the bank. But with tokenization, you're bypassing the bank. And, having all that equity and mature investors looking at that equity as more cash flow, well, you get to basically double dip, triple dip in some cases with a property, because you're getting that cash flow from the tenants, and then you're getting the cash flow from the equity by the equity working for you. I could even see in the future with all once the house is tokenized and all the tenants that live in that apartment all have like their own personal NFT for, their suite number or whatever in that apartment complex type of thing. You know what I mean? And then that's how you get your payment, is like, you get your rent through the NFT, and it's like on auto type of shit. Like, hey, once your cash flow comes in, that shit hits your NFT and it comes directly to me type of shit. You know what I mean? But the NFT will have the rental agreement all in it. You know what I'm saying?
I told you earlier today, bro, you're like the only motherfucker in this space that I can once we get Kev on social media a little bit more, I can say this with him, but bro, you're the only other person in this space I can vibe with intellectually, because you're not closed-minded. We're in an era of transformation with all these new opportunities. Why would you sleep on your own ability to create potential for yourself through these mechanisms of digital finance? It's like, it's about to be so wild what people are sleeping on, and people like myself, you, that are like learning about this stuff and embedding ourselves into this new digitally native ecosystem. Now we are the new 1%. And if you think that being a part of the new 1% is just holding crypto, you're doing it all wrong. That is a mindset that now is outdated. With these digital assets, there comes an intrinsic utility with them through DeFi. And whatever route you choose to take with that information is up to you, because there's so many different strategies. But don't sleep on your education, right? And protecting and preserving your wealth indefinitely is not going to come from hodling and selling one day when it's a high price, y'all. Like,
that's facts, bro. That's super facts.
Sick.
So this is that lady. Before I want to come back because the chat's on fire today. I love it when we got some good participants and people in the chat listening in. XPR TDBN said, and I like that because Aqua could talk all day about XPR, so I'm gonna let him go off the rip on that, off this comment. He said, or he or she said, MetalX and MetalPay will be all integrated into the WebAuth wallet. We'll never have to leave WebAuth wallet to do anything outside of it ever again. And I love that, because at the beginning of this call, I don't know if you were on at the beginning, XPR, TDBN, but Aqua had brought up MetalX, and we were talking about the new feature, the new proposal that just got passed with XRP. And then also right now, if you really wanted to participate in like a high yield savings account type deal, MetalX is offering, what is it, 34% right now on USDC for lending? I mean, not financial advice, but if you just got idle cash doing nothing, that you sitting on the side for when the market dips, that cash could be generating you yield, and it's already integrated with the digital wallet. When the market dips, boom, you could just hit a swap feature right there. But the whole time that your capital sitting idle, instead of it being in your bank account doing nothing, It's actually generating you cash flow, even if it's 50 cents a day. And the best part is you can take that money and you can compound it every single day. Boom, boom, boom,
Facts.
boom, boom. You know?
Facts, bro. Super facts. And then, you know, I don't know, did I share? I don't know if you had hit the live button or not just yet when I was sharing this with you guys. I'll just share it one more time again because this is fresh. Do you mind if I just share my screen real quick just to show
but before we move on, I do, but let's just play this so we don't get too off topic. Real quick,
Okay.
and then we'll get off of this because I don't want to forget what you said, because you had mentioned fractionalized ownership and you mentioned this company Pripco Mint, and I feel like the audience might not know that, but so that way you can hear it directly from the word of mouth from a Ripple representative. This is at the Dubai Crypto Summit, and this just confirms what Akka was saying. Listen to what she says here. This is like a 30-second long video clip, but she pretty much just says that Dubai chose Ripple. Dubai chose the XRPL for tokenized real estate.
It every day. Like I'm going to give you an example. It's a reality. Ripple has been a huge bridge from day one, like more than 10 years ago, between TradFi and blockchain. Like institutional adoption, RWA, we've been talking about it as a buzzword, but now it's really happening. As an example, like the panel before was talking about real estate, I was almost fuming when I was hearing what was said about the value of tokenizing real estate. Dubai Land Department, so government entity in Dubai, just announced that they are tokenizing and choosing XRPL as the go-to blockchain to tokenize real estate. Now, why is Dubai interested in
And this organization here, you know, it's regulated. She pretty much said the Dubai government is choosing the XRPL to tokenize real estate. And this is that organization, Pripco Mint, a government-backed platform powered by the XRP ledger, marks a pivotal shift towards tokenized real estate ownership. You know, come on now. And if you go over to the Pripco Mint X profile, bro, it's like 800 followers. It's like nobody.
Hey, it technically, like, you know, anybody that's on this live that stays in Dubai, or if you're planning to move there, you could technically tokenize your real estate property right now in a regulated fashion, because this is government backed. That's like the key phrase, government backed. You know what I mean? Because like, dude, I don't know. I got attacked by some like pretty big content creators. I'm not going to name any names, trying to say that this wasn't regulated. And it's like, man, when you do your homework and you look, like, I was given a hypothetical situation, but like this is, you know, regulated in Dubai right now. So like, you know,
yeah,
it's possible.
It says right here, licensed by VARA. It's right there, Virtual Asset Regulatory Authority. So anybody that thinks that there aren't platforms, I mean, they might not be regulated in your jurisdiction, right? But this is regulated if you go to Dubai and you live in Dubai. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, if I lived in Dubai right now, this is probably, I'd definitely take a look at this. You know,
without a doubt.
So, you know, again, it's just, there's so much information. I honestly, at this point, sometimes I don't blame some of the bigger influencers out there for like some of this stuff going over their head, because, you know, most of them, bro, they're too manipulated, because, you know, they've just been doing the research where they marry the bias of XRP going to some high price, or any digital asset for that matter going to high price. And that's just been the only way to make money in this space. Especially the XRP community, because most XRP community members are against ETH, right? And now I'm starting to be like, dang, ETH has been winning. And another reason, you know, think about the speculation as to why people have been like, oh, ETH has been in the number 2 spot for so many years over XRP. Why that actually has nothing to do with ETHgate, has nothing to do with because ETH had special privileges or none of that shit. It literally is just because of go look at the DeFi ecosystem on ETH right now. Okay. Just go look at that alone. That number 1 fact is one of the reasons why ETH is sitting at that number 2 spot.
Facts. The smart contracts. When Ethereum came out, no smart contracts, that's when DeFi was like, boom, it blew up. And it blew up low-key silently if you were not involved in, you know, Ethereum. And like, man, I ain't gonna lie, like looking back, when I first came into XRP, because I was the very first asset that I purchased when I came into crypto, I fell for the whole okey doke. Like, yeah, man, we're way better than Ethereum. We're way faster. We're cheaper in fees. And I was like, screw Ethereum, right? Like, totally on board with that shit.
Burn the bus type of movement, bro.
Man, and now it's completely different. Once we start getting educated for real, what's really going down, it's like, yo, Ethereum is an OG. And the fact that these projects are building EVMs tells you Ethereum ain't going nowhere, in my opinion. Ethereum's here to stay, type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if they continue to make upgrades, on the network. I don't think they're going anywhere. I mean, if I'm being completely honest, and it's weird too, because now that XRPL has integrated smart contract capabilities with Pierce's technology, it's like, that's all I've been studying for the last like 2 years, just how XRPL is going to integrate with smart contract capabilities, and we're going to have the ability to generate yield. And it's weird how you get attacked from community members in the XRP army that are like, oh, that's a scam. Like, no, it's not, yo. People that have been holding ETH have been doing this shit for like 5+ years. Like, it's not anything new. It's just new to a community that has never had that capability yet. Like honestly, most XRP community members, it's like they don't even know that DeFi exists. Most people don't even understand anything about it. Yeah, it's weird. It's like really truly interesting, man. Not to talk down on anybody's educational level. Like I said, I mean, this space just moves so fast and there's so much content that sometimes it is hard to peel back the layers of real research. But yeah, man, don't sleep on what's happening. Like, we could go. What did you want to show before we get off topic, Aqua? Because I know you wanted to pull up a video.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to share this real quick because we were on the topic as far as lending out USDC over on the MetalX platform. And I just wanted to share this real quick because this was just voted on through the governance of the loan protocol. And what this post is saying is that basically we are now going to be able to earn rewards when we lend out XRP and LTC. And when you go here right now, XRP and LTC, you can see here the earn APY is at 0.00%. And it's been like that since the jump. You've never been able to earn yield when you lend it out. The what you could do is just borrow against it. That's like, basically why you would want to lend it out. Otherwise, it's just like, what's the point? I'm not earning any yield. But again, with this new pass on the governance, where did it go here? Yeah. We're going to be able to earn yield now. So this is major. You know what I mean? Especially like LTC. I know I hold a bunch of LTC, you know what I mean? And it just sits there. Like, there's nothing to do with my LTC. And now I'm eyeballing this. I'm going to send my LTC to my WebAuth wallet and lend it out to earn some yield with it here on the loan protocol. So
the best part is like, what Marshall Lehner's got going on with regulations and his patents and everything that you've gone over. We won't touch on that in this. I mean, unless we go down that rabbit hole, but still, it's like it falls in line with regulations. Bottom line is what I'm trying to get at. So it's like, speaking of regulations, that's kind of like a perfect transition into just this little tiny presentation I want to give, because the landscape's changing, and kind of what I want to share right now is I want to show you guys that these are all recent developments that are happening for the first time ever, and they should really wake people up into realizing, wow, the landscape is a lot different than what it used to be. Maybe I should start to change with the moving tide instead of having this outdated bias and mindset, and start to try to learn something new. Why? Because the institutions are telling me I should. The regulators are telling me I should. And that's what a lot of people were waiting for, is regulatory clarity and institutional demand. But it's like now people are resisting what the institutions and the regulators are telling people, because we've been so misled to believe a certain mindset that existed prior to this new wave of information. Right? You get what I'm saying? It's like people can't comprehend that regulators are actually coming out and giving verbal clarity. Institutions are now actually coming out and specifically saying what they're going to do with their XRP. I mentioned a part in this previous video breakdown is like, even just 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we could always find documents that said Ripple or said XRP or said this or said that, but it was never any real document that was like, we are going to use XRP for XYZ, right? Am I making that up, or is that like, I'm pretty
No,
sure
you're spot on. You're spot on, bro. Yeah.
right? It was always just kind of like speculation. It was researchers like putting pieces of the puzzle together and saying, this is most likely what's going to happen based off of these facts. But now we actually have organizations with valid credentials physically coming out, making large investments into crypto and saying, this is what we're specifically going to use crypto for. Not blockchain, not the ledger, not nothing, mentioning specifically XRP, right? So I want to show you guys that. So I'm going to start here and break down for you guys what's been taking place in case you missed this. So we got verbal confirmation from the SEC roundtable on DeFi the other day from the SEC chair. And this was streamed 3 weeks ago. Dates are going to be important here. I want you guys to pay attention because all of these announcements happened directly around the same exact time. And I don't believe in coincidences, right? So you have here this roundtable that was streamed 3 weeks ago. Listen to what Chair Atkins says here about how staking does not classify as a security. Listen to this.
The prior U.S. government administration discouraged Americans from participating in these market-based systems by asserting through lawsuits, speeches, regulation, and threatened regulatory action that participants and staking as a service providers may be engaged in securities transactions. I'm grateful to the Division of Corporation Finance staff for clarifying this view that voluntary participation in proof of work or proof of stake network as a miner or a validator or staking as a service provider is not within the scope of the federal securities laws.
So even though that is not written confirmation, there's nothing been signed into legal, structure yet. That is verbal confirmation, and that is massive. Okay, that's massive. It's the first time in history that we've ever gotten that from an SEC chair, right? So at the same exact time that happened, because we'd be paying attention to crazy ass details. So look at this. This is from 2 days ago. This video has 27 views. And what is this video titled? Institutional Treasuries and Yield, Gaps, Gains, and Opportunities. It's from the Yield Innovation Summit that took place at New York in 2025, June 23rd. So this was, if the video of Chair Atkins was 3 weeks ago, this video is from about 2 weeks ago, okay? Because today is July 4th. So if we look at who's on this panel, Jake O by BitGo, he's the head of growth. That's going to be important. And who we're going to listen to is this gentleman here, Ryan Day. He's from Solstice Labs. So just to give you a clear perspective of who these two gentlemen are, okay, let's go over here. Solstice Labs is an institutional grade investment opportunity, or provides, investment grade institutional opportunities across DeFi. In their bio, it says they provide institutional investment grade opportunities. Solstice Labs is a Deutsche X enterprise company delivering permissionless composable investment opportunities to investors of all kinds. Functioning as, I'm probably pronouncing this correctly, Deutsche X's DeFi unit. Solstice Labs is opening the door to DeFi through, I'm not going to read the rest of that. So anyways, institutional grade DeFi opportunities. That's who this gentleman stems from. That's going to be telling you guys this stuff. And then remember this other guy, Jake O from BitGo. Okay, well, if we come right over here, look at what was announced on June 2nd, just days after the SEC chair announced that that staking does not classify as a security. Look at this. BitGo enters a strategic partnership with Vivo Power to facilitate its initial US $100 million XRP acquisition for their treasury strategy, right? And in this treasury strategy, it talks about how BitGo is going to utilize XRP to generate yield, right? This is wild. So if you read this, or if you just go over, for example, to the Vivo Power, look at this, go to Vivo Power X profile, Vivo Power is building a virtuous cycle, generating yield and using it to systematically increase its core XRP position, creating a perpetually compounding engine for shareholder value. This is from June 11, 2025. And they just partnered with BitGo, right? Listen to what this dude, BitGo, head of growth, sitting next to Ryan Day, says on stage about what the SEC chair commissioner just said. Just check this out. So if you go to 23 minutes and 29 seconds in here, he talks about how what the SEC chair said gave institutions verbal confirmation. Look at this.
There's been a lot of really good market tailwinds, right?
In general, there's like the market structure
I
bill.
mean, so like there's been a lot of really good market tailwinds, right? So we had the SEC put out their opinion on staking. So that was like a huge win for the space. I think that was fantastic. And it really opens up a lot of opportunities. Another small shameless shill, Solstice staking. We just opened up some Solana validators in the US, so come check us out. But regardless, like those types of things, those are the signals that a lot of the institutions who are crypto curious, who are sitting on the sidelines, are looking for. They're looking for a little bit of, I don't know about clarity, but they're looking for some signals that things might want to change. And the people who are on the fence that are they're trying to be not the first people, but right behind the first people. Those are the signals that they're looking for. The Genius Act, I think, is another great.
Do I need to run that back, or did y'all hear what this motherfucker just said? He just said that the verbal confirmation that the SEC chair gave is what the institutions that have been sitting on the sideline need.
Facts, bro. You should run it back though one more time, because what he said is very powerful, and it's 100% aligned with what we've been saying. Man, run that shit back though for sure, because yeah.
There's been a lot of really good market tailwinds, right? So we had the SEC put out their opinion on staking. So that was like a huge win for the space. I think that was fantastic. And it really opens up a lot of opportunities. Another small shameless shill, Solstice staking. We just opened up some Solana validators in the US, so come check us out. But regardless, like those types of things, those are the signals that a lot of the institutions who are crypto curious, who are sitting on the sidelines, are looking for. They're looking for a little bit of, I don't know about clarity, but they're looking for some signals that things might want to change. And the people who are on the fence that are they're trying to be not the first people, but right behind the first people. Those are the signals that they're looking for.
Okay, keep in mind, this is the type of research we'll be doing here at CYPRX, right? This video alone has 27 views, which is, again, backs what I'm saying, that most influencers in this space don't even know that this stuff is happening because they haven't seen the info yet, right? And look at what I'm showing you. Who is sitting next to this guy? This is fucking crazy, y'all. This is physical proof that this shit is happening. Look at this. Who's sitting next to this guy? This dude I just showed you from BitGo, Jake O. He's the head of growth of this organization. And this organization, BitGo, what did they just announce? BitGo enters a strategic partnership with Vivo Power to facilitate its initial US $100 million XRP acquisition for an XRP treasury strategy. And this is literally 2 days after the SEC freaking DeFi roundtable, when the SEC chair gave verbal clarity that staking does not classify as a security. This is huge.
And it's like low key is this telling us too, like this 100 million XRP is going to be used in DeFi? So it's technically going to be it's going to be locked up on the XRPL. So that's going to add to the TVL.
Yeah. It's going to be on chain. It has to be.
Right. Because this is a strategy that they're going to be running in DeFi.
Right.
So you can't do that in a wallet off chain.
Like as soon as that green light was given for institutions, everyone started buying. Like ETH started getting bought up because now institutions can stake ETH. Now Solana just launched their ETF a couple of days ago, and now institutions can buy Solana and stake it.
Y'all, please tell me who this is. Right, that's that's your boy Brad Garlinghouse sitting right here with the gentleman from Vivo Power. Right, and what is Vivo Power going to use their XRP for? I mean, look, if you just type it in yourself, they tell you directly to your face. This is what I'm talking about. How now, for the first time ever, they're publicly announcing that they're going to use XRP for these things. So nobody anymore, unless you have more credentials than Brad Garlinghouse himself, who's took a picture with these people, can tell you that that's not what they're going to be using XRP for, because they're telling you, right?
Facts. Facts.
And before this is what I'm trying to get people to see. Before this, it was so hard for us as researchers to prove what they're going to be using XRP for. Not anymore. And this isn't the only announcement, bro. Look at this. This is Centura. Okay, check this out. This is another announcement that just came out. Look at this. This is from May 6, 2025. So think about it. About 3 weeks before the SEC roundtable. So it's almost as if they had to know that the SEC was going to make that announcement, because why would they be building an institutional DeFi platform? Look at this. Today marks a defining moment in the evolution of Into the Block. We are thrilled to announce our merger with Trident. I highlighted that in purple. Trident Digital and the completion of a $25 million Series A funding round. This milestone accelerates our mission to bring institutional adoption of DeFi and unifies two pioneering teams under a new banner, Centura, right? So they're building this institutional grade DeFi platform. And well, if we go over to what Trident announced, look at this. So Trident, that collaboration, building an institutional platform, days after the SEC chair said that staking does not classify as a security, on June 12th, Trident announced up to $500 million of a financing plan for an XRP treasury and appoints Chance Securities LLC as the strategic advisor. And right down here in purple, it says, this initiative will focus on the acquisition of XRP tokens as long-term strategic reserves and the deployment of staking mechanisms to generate yield and deliver deep engagement with the Ripple ecosystem. This is another big ass organization that's telling you what they're using XRP for, and it's staking. It's yield generation.
And I love how you are emphasizing too how it came after that announcement, after that verbal confirmation that we got. It's like these guys were watching just like we were,
waiting,
and they were like, hey, we're going with game plan A because we just got confirmation. So let's, let the world know now what's cracking.
I'm just saying,
yeah,
it's like, come on, you can only ignore it for so long before you're like, okay, it's hit me in the face so many times, I got to pay attention to whatever the heck this is. You can't ignore this. Before, shout out to all the researchers in the XRP community that have been delivering good value, but cross-border remittances and XRP as a bridge and XRP for payments, it's not outdated, don't get me wrong, but there's a new wave. And David Schwartz himself in this video breakdown that we showed you guys confirmed that new wave is institutional DeFi.
Facts. So yeah, man.
I don't know what else to say, at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's powerful stuff. I mean, I know this is landing. I can feel like everyone that's watching right now is like, this is landing for them heavily. And it's like making sense. It's probably making sense for the very first time for a few folks that are watching this right now as well. I feel like, because right now this is like, you can't deny this. Like, how could you deny this? And you know what I mean? Like, there's no denying this. These are facts. So.
Yeah, and the great part about this is this is exactly why we've built the Wealth 28 Club over the last year. It's actually been a year and a couple months now. This was our mission, to wake people up and to get you guys to see that this is happening and come learn about it. You don't have to go out there and risk your XRP to learn about this stuff, y'all. That's not what we've ever told anybody here. You don't have to. Actually, as a matter of fact, I don't recommend that you risk your assets. I actually personally recommend, and so do these two gentlemen with me sitting in on the call, that you don't do shit with your crypto until you know what you're doing. But you have to lay that educational foundation first, and that takes doing research or fast tracking your approach, tapping in with us here in the Wealth 28 Club, where these two dudes every single week, especially if you're, you enhance your membership and you tap into the Discord, they jump in and they do DeFi calls every single week. And anybody that has a question, anybody that has anything to bring to the table, we talk about these things openly with our community, and everybody's learning, everybody's moving, everybody's, in the wit with what's happening. And I'm telling you, we're superseding a lot of communities out there just because of our awareness to what's happening with our digital assets, not just buying and hodling, Good, Kev, you're muted.
Oh yeah, that's a fact, man. Being able to make couple $100 a week or a day, depending on how much capital you have, is amazing, because not only are you buying more time for yourself to spend with your family and friends and do what you want to do, it starts, you start feeling like like you're on top of the world, man. Like you figured out the matrix. Like you're not part of that rat race anymore. You're not waking up at 6 o'clock to go to work and dealing with different personalities. You're just waking up and putting money and paying your bills and raising your children. So DeFi is really powerful, man.
It definitely puts the power of the banks back in the hands of the people. Speaking of that, I'm actually thinking about chopping up our breakdown, our presentation of your strategy with Aave and making it public, because I really truly feel that people need to know that we have a mentor in our community that has physically shown through some of the biggest historical events in crypto that you can keep a rising equity curve on a lending and borrowing platform, one of the biggest in the DeFi ecosystem, and you have direct connections to schedule one-on-ones with that person in our community is huge. Because think about it. Imagine on a platform that Aqua's efficient on, like MetalX, they do enhance their infrastructure and they add that swap feature, in the future. We're already going to have a strategy that we can partake in on other protocols that work and just migrate that over to other existing protocols with other digital assets and have different looping strategies being ran on multiple different chains, on multiple different protocols. And it doesn't really matter whether you're an XRP maxi or an XPR maxi or even a Bitcoin maxi or whatever digital asset maxi. If it's got a DeFi ecosystem, you can run these strategies that we're battle testing for y'all, like literally physically battle testing our strategies for you guys and recording everything so that you guys can learn. Like, how much money myself, Aqua, and Kev have publicly made available for people to see that we're testing in the Well 28 Club? It's wild. It's not a game.
It's not a game at all, for sure. And you got, man, what's so amazing though too is that all the Zoom calls that you just mentioned, you can go in and watch every single one of them because it's in the Well 28 Club and it's going to be there for life. So you can watch at the very beginning and just, go down the horn. There's so many powerful gems and tools that you can gather. And it's much better to be aligned with a community that's talking this language and is tapping into this, these protocols and stuff, and as opposed to doing it by yourself. Because the moment you run into a roadblock or a situation where you don't understand something, I mean, a community is where you can lean on and you can ask these questions to the community. And there really hasn't ever been a question that never got, like, every single question has been answered from somebody in the community, because somebody in the community has potentially already been using that protocol or maybe ran into that roadblock. So yeah, I mean, powers of a community are strong. Don't underestimate it, especially if you're on this live right now and you gathered a bunch of gems. Like, I mean, just imagine what's inside the Well 28 Club, because these conversations go even deeper. And then, spiritualness will even come into the conversation as well. So yeah, tap in with us. There's many gems you guys can gain from us inside.
Yeah, I can't stress enough now in this age of information, having access to the right data is extremely important. With people bringing their opinions and so many influencers just like trying to, I don't know. It's like, it's weird, man. It's really weird. It's almost like a syndicate of influencers that are enshrined into this ecosystem to manipulate people. Do you feel that way by any chance?
Hell
Like
yeah.
how you were talking about, you say this a lot, is like when you first come into crypto, you have this like wall of influencers you have to like peel back to find the real ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
feel
it's
like,
bad.
yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
I say, yeah, it's really bad. There's so many influencers. I mean, not gonna say any name, but they spew a lot of hopium, and you get wrecked every time, and they come back next week saying the exact same stuff. So like, you really got to dive into Twitter and like kind of stay off of YouTube, honestly, and then get your influencers going after that. But
You know what I think it is too is that people think that because people have a large following in this space, you know, for example, a YouTube influencer that has 300,000 followers, you know, a newcomer into crypto will come in and think that because that person has a large following count, that they also make a lot of money from crypto or from trading. And that's like the farthest thing from the truth. Most influencers in this space don't even actually make money from crypto. You know, they don't actually have a track record of a proven rising equity curve from their investments or from their trading strategies that they've built. In this community, completely different, bro. Where we've got, I mean, just the other day in the chat, right? Look at this. I mean, we had a private member in the chat just the other day, Lane, pass a $25,000 challenge using myself and Scalper's trading strategies. This is crazy. It's real proof that what we're teaching is it works. You know, regardless of how you try to take our strategy and implement it on your own behalf, we have a proven track record in this community of how to build rising equity curves, whether it's a trading approach, now a DeFi approach with what Kev is building with lending and borrowing, or whether it's just through, you know, dollar cost averaging properly and knowing how to implement your capital into this space during times of market volume and volatility because you understand why the market's down type thing. You know, it's wild, dude, that what people don't even know.
Bro, the delta zones, bro. Oh my God.
I didn't want to say that because when I say that, most people don't understand what deltas are or what dark pools are. But yeah, we're the only community on the face of the internet with that access. So
I just made so much money by using delta zones.
Man,
it's a cheat code, bro.
Bro. I think Ethereum hit 26, that was a delta. And as soon as they hit it, I did my little strategy, my little swap, eating on the way down.
What's so interesting is so many people want access to some magic indicator or some magic thing that they can just put on to their trading view that'll just give them all the proper entry and exit levels. And I don't like to brag or boast, bro, but Scalper, our institutional scalper, has never fed with his algorithms that he has access to and the things that he's built that he provides to our community. He has never been wrong on a level that he has sent to the community weeks in advance. Weeks in advance, bro.
literally weeks in advance. Literally, it's wild. It's mind blowing wild.
It's mind-blowing.
And honestly, when you start tapping into these liquidity pools and borrowing and lending like Kev, having these deltas is so powerful. Like, and I mean, I feel like it makes DeFi 10 times easier having those delta zones, bro. Low key, like on concentrated liquidity pools, just figuring out your ranges with those delta zones, bro, powerful. You know what I mean? So
what's wild to me too is the efficiency of the algorithm that Scalper has built to deliver this, bro. His setup has to look like some Matrix shit where this dude's got like 20 different screens because man, this dude updates deltas on not only crypto but also forex, commodities, and futures markets all day and on the drop of a dime. So if somebody like asks him, like if I tag Scalper right now and I was like, hey bro, can you get me deltas for like 10, and I gave him a list of 10 different pairs, bro, like 1 minute later he's going to give me all the deltas for all these pairs. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, bro. His Ethereum one was right on the money. Like right on the money. It was crazy.
But I try not to boast and brag about that. I try to let people figure that out about CYPRX when they tap in. You know, I don't like to use that as like a, you know, because then some people they when they hear that and they're like, oh, they got a magic this. It's like it's hard to believe. So I'd rather people come in and test it out and see it for themselves. Like, look, how many people we got on this call? 2,400. I encourage you guys to test our Discord for 30 days. Subscribe to the Discord for 30 days. look at the deltas that Scalper provides or the dark pools, whichever route you take, for 30 days and blow your own mind. And if you trade XRP or you dollar cost average in XRP, or whether it's not XRP, maybe it's XPR as an example, right? We had an XPR person just now in the chat. It doesn't matter what pair, as long as it's got liquidity and volume and volatility that our algorithms can pick up on, we can get institutional information on it, right? Just test it out. Blow your own freaking mind. That's all I gotta say. It's wild. It's wild.
Facts, bro.
Facts. I wanted to touch on this real quick because there's a lot of people that are like, don't understand either too, that you can stake directly in cold storage wallets now. This is for you, Kev. They just launched on Ledger a new way to stake ETH. I didn't see this. This is from July 2nd, just the other day.
Yeah, man, the floodgates have opened. Wall Street wants Ethereum, so it's time for everyone to start buying Ethereum. I'm mega bullish on Ethereum, by the way, guys.
I can't believe I just let Kev shill Ethereum on our live.
Dude, look, y'all.
I should have muted him. I should have fucking muted him.
Boy, back up the trunk, y'all. You'll thank me later.
Yo, so this was pretty cool too. I got super excited about this because the way that I was thinking about it is with my crypto.com card. I'm just like sitting here and I'm just gonna earn yield on my Flare and pay for everyday goods and services and stuff like that with my crypto.com card with my Flare rewards that I'm getting from crypto.com. But then I went to peep it and realized it wasn't available for US based users, but this still just became available on crypto.com if you're out of the US. I don't know if it's available in Canada, and I'm hoping that maybe they allow access to US based users. But if you don't like protocols, right, because Scepter is probably a much better and higher yield platform than crypto.com in Flare's case. But if you like the idea of having your crypto on centralized exchanges, if that floats your boat, some people you do, because you have the ability to point the finger in case things go bust. Some people don't like cold storage. Some people don't like institutional storage. Some people like centralized exchanges. I'm not one of those guys, but I thought that this was just a pretty cool opportunity where people can now earn 10% on their Flare for staking it.
No, that's solid. It's better than Uphold. Uphold is like 5.5%, so that's super solid.
This is that platform too. This guy here, I think he says it's called Alice or Alice. I don't know how to pronounce this correctly, but they launched XRP yield opportunities the other day. And
whoa.
Yeah. Have you seen this first time, Aqua?
This is the very first time I'm seeing this, but let me just give you a little gem about this ELYS network. They have their own token, right?
Mm-hmm.
And because I have my Corium in my Leap wallet, where I'm getting 41%, by the way, staking my Corium right in my Leap wallet, holding the ELS token as well in the Leap wallet, you have a staking opportunity for, I want to say like 50%. It was like more, it was more than what they were given for Corium. So, but this is wild. And I was always eyeballing this ELYS token too. And I don't know, like it's a difficult asset to get. It's not easy. Like, I don't think many exchanges have it, right? But the fact that they just launched this is major. Like, got my antennas up now.
Well, let's peep this because this is the first time that I pulled up all these posts just before this call. We can break this down. This is the gentleman here, Hashim, I think his name is. This is posted from June 30th, 2025. So relatively within the last couple of days. And I think he goes on to set a little tiny example of how you can enter into this position. Again, not financial advice. We're not sitting here telling you guys that these platforms or these protocols are the know-all be-all. We are not implementing capital on these platforms right now. And if we do decide to implement capital onto these protocols, we always usually break them down in a Zoom call. We go over test amounts. We go over our trials, our tribulations, our experiences with these protocols for our private community. But we don't encourage anybody to go out and use their hard-earned digital assets on any of these platforms, which is why it's again so beneficial to be a part of the Wealth 28 Club, because you guys are literally just watching us risk our own capital. You don't even have to. You can just learn from us. Like, I took a big ass L, one of the biggest L's I've ever taken in crypto in my freaking career the other day, and got to share that openly with the community. And massive learning curve for our community. And to see their mentor bounce back from a huge loss in the market just the other day, you know, that's directly in the community transparency, and you know what we abide by here. But yeah, so check this out. Let's listen to this real quick. Let's tap into this, see what this guy has to say. There's another video too. This one, or excuse me. See if I can find it. Did I have two pulled up? Yeah, this one. This is another video, so maybe we'll watch both of them. This is actually directly from his profile, so maybe we'll watch this one. But it says XRP DeFi unlocked. This is from July 2nd, 2025, so 2 days ago. Here's how to add XRP to Elise network using PeerSys. Keep in mind, PeerSys works with central banks and built out the XRPL EVM sidechain. View your native XRP balance at, and then it gives you the place. With MetaMask, Snap Wallet address will be generated for you, and you can send XRP from a centralized exchange to the wallet address here as well. Yeah, so this looks like a little presentation, but let's see here what he has to say.
Welcome to Ellis Network, where your XRP token.
Can you see that better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to Ellis Network, where your XRP tokens finally get the utility they deserve. From DeFi lending to liquidity pools, leverage LP, and even perpetual trading, Ellis unlocks real utility for XRP holders. But first, let's walk you through the steps to get started. Step 1. Bridge your XRP to the XRPL EVM chain by PeerSys. We recommend using Kepler Wallet. You'll need it on Ellis Network. Once your XRP is on XRPL EVM, go to app.ellis.network. On the top right corner, click Transfer, Deposit Crypto. A pop-up will open, and you'll be able to select XRP, XRPL EVM chain, as the source. Select XRP, Ellis, as the destination, and then enter the amount of XRP you want to transfer. Click Send, wait 30 seconds, and you're in. That's it. Your XRP tokens are now on Ellis Network. Tip, if you're already using MetaMask, you can simply import your seed phrase directly into Kepler. It's that fast and easy. Now the fun begins. You can provide liquidity in the XRP USDC pool on the liquidity mining page, powered by Smart Shielded pools. These pools feature minimal impermanent loss, as well as high APR rewards in USDC and ETH. You can also stake your XRP on the vaults page, but be quick because vaults have a cap that adjusts as users join. You'll earn rewards from people borrowing your XRP to take positions on Leverage LP, giving you XRP tokens that auto compound in your vault position, along with incentives paid out in Eden and USDC. You can also partake in Leverage LP, which boosts your potential yield based on the pools by borrowing XRP or other tokens to increase your exposure. And very soon, you'll also get access to our perp decks to long or short XRP with leverage.
What? Fucking leverage XRP? Yo, I'm telling you, anybody sleeping on XRP DeFi right now, just real. Yeah, this platform looks lit. And you know what's even crazier? He mentioned the wallet that's better to be used with this platform. I wonder if that wallet has Wallet Connect, where you can connect Tangem to it, so that way we could do all this through cold storage.
It looks like you have to KYC and you have to go, like, it seems legit. I'm going to definitely take a look after we get off of here. But yeah, I don't see like an easy wallet connect just yet, but I'm thinking maybe we have to KYC because it's like you got to sign in and create an account, I think. Or wait, hold on. Actually, no, you can use the Kepler wallet like he said, or Leap wallet, it says here. So, and Ledger. Yeah, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. So we could do a Ledger Connect. I'm honestly probably going to start to use some of my test position for DeFi or for XRP DeFi to onboard into this platform. Like maybe do a couple thousand test position and maybe start running some calls on it. Because Kev, what was the platform you said you were going to test?
on which one?
I don't remember. Was it an XDC platform or was it an XRP platform?
It was an XDC platform. It was a liquid staking. That's what I'm learning.
Was it Prime? It was Prime, huh?
Yeah, Prime numbers.
Yeah, I definitely want to put a little test position on here, because if you go over and you look at the TVL right now, the TVL doesn't meet my threshold, my requirement personally, so I won't expose a lot, but I definitely think it would be cool to put a couple thousand on or whatever, just to learn the platform, get in and out of the platform, on board, off board properly, get the transition down, so that way when this TVL increases and the longevity of this platform, kind of give it like 6 months or so, I guarantee you come back in this TVL, which is only sitting at, actually, as a matter of fact, it's sitting at 11,000. When I started this call, it was sitting at 10. Yesterday, when I saw this platform, it was sitting at 5. So it's increased. And the APR right now is 13%. That's nasty.
Yeah, they actually have a liquidity pool. If you go up to the Earn tab and you type in liquidity mining, yeah, they actually have XRP USD right there, giving you 43%.
Man.
And that TVL
just that vault alone, though, like in that hypothetical situation that we've been talking about, at the end of it, once you tokenize the equity of the house of the real estate, it's like, what do you do now with that equity? Well, you could swap that equity into XRP and then put it in this vault, getting 14% and using that 14% yield to pay back the loan that you took on your initial XRP. Like, hypothetically, right? This is a possibility. What I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly think, though, when it comes to my XRP, I'm probably going to be a little bit more conservative with my threshold requirements. Like, usually for LPing, I do 500,000 TVO. I think for my XRP, I want to see at least 1 million locked before I expose that. I'm willing to put a test for sure. Like, I'll test it to get the what's the word I'm looking for? The steps down, like, connecting, if we could do cold storage, connecting to, what was the wallet that he said?
Kepler wallet.
Kepler wallet, right? Getting in and out of the position smoothly, running through that process, but actually providing a good size position. I probably won't orient any attention to this platform till that TVL increases, because even on this pool right now, the TVL looks weak. 39,000. Yeah. I got 39 grand I could put on this bitch right now.
But this vault right now, though, bro, like, I get that. I mean, that wasn't even my point. I was just saying that this is an option. Like, let's just say the TVO was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but these are brand new, though. This pool in this vault is brand new, right? Like, this is
I think
this was a year, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, right? So
I think this just launched. I mean, look at the wrap Bitcoin USDC pool. I mean, it's already got 1.2 mil. If I could see this on this pool, oh yeah, that's game on.
Hey, let's make a bet, bro. I mean, not a real bet, but
let's make a real bet.
Hey, I could see this TVL going past 1 million on both, on the vault and on this pool right here, XRP USDC pool, because this right here, yeah, by the end of the summer, bro, like, this is gonna go viral now that we're talking about it. Are you kidding me? Man, this is like, trust me, bro. Like, remember, just for example, magnetic. We were the very first people in the ecosystem to be talking about X magnetic when we did. And how much was that asset when we first started talking about? It was like $300-$400, and then it went to what? Yeah. And then at the time there was only 200 farmers, and it went past 1,200 or 1,500 farmers at the time. So like, once this goes viral, like, we don't know, you know what I mean? We're waiting. The XRP people that are aware are kind of waiting patiently, and this is just another tool to add to the DeFi, tool chest to earn some yield now with our XRP.
I wonder, he said something about vaults. I wonder if I mean, I know that this is are these the vaults? Yeah, so this is an XRP vault right there. Like, yeah. Yeah. As soon as that TVL, I mean, I'll take that gesture, that bet. Let's bet 100 XRP on it.
What? That's gonna go past 1 million?
What's your time horizon? I'm writing this shit down. What's your date?
Man, with that APR right there and being on that, like, this is on the XRPL EVM sidechain. So I mean, it's still the native XRP then, right? Or wrong?
I think so. I
Technically
didn't
speaking.
hear what he just said in this gist on how to get to it. I don't think you have to wrap your XRP or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. So
Okay.
that's why I was saying to do a test amount to run through the process so we understand it properly. But
Yeah. I would
regardless,
say at least $500,000, bro. Half a
$500,000?
million, bro.
$500,000. I'll put in like 1,000 XRP tokens in there.
$500,000 by when? End of summer? When's end of summer? What month?
Is it August?
August, September.
Or September?
September, I think.
I
I
don't
think it's
even know.
September like 21st or something around that time.
Hey, Aqua, you put 250, I put 250, and we win. All right. We just pull
All
it
right,
out.
end of summer. End of summer, Agua's bet is this increases to 500,000 TVL. I'll say by end of summer, my bet is, 750,000.
Damn, you're going. Damn, all right.
750,000.
I was trying to be conservative. I really think it's going to be $1 million, but I was like, man, let me just cut that in half.
You want to up your
Type
bet
of shit.
to end of summer is $1 million?
Let's just say by the end of October, $1 million.
End of
whatever
October.
that is. End of
Okay.
October. October 31st by Halloween Day. Does Halloween land on a Friday too, by the way? Because if it does, we're going to be up here.
By Halloween.
Yep.
Okay.
Dude, hey, it does land on a Friday. So we're on that day when we run that podcast, we're gonna have to bring this one back.
To look at the TVL. All right, bet. My guess is 750. Whoever's closer.
Yeah,
And
I say $1 million, bro.
What's the bet? 100 XRP, or you want to do 250? Don't put your money where your mouth is at, boys.
Oh, all right, boy. I do want 200. Let's go. Throw them out there, boy. Throw it out there. 850.
All right, bet.
I'll bet you 28 XRP, bro.
All right, 20 Aqua's conservative.
Break the
Talk
bank,
about
man.
100 XRP over here. I'm like, damn, bro.
Because you know what I'm gonna do with my winnings is I'm gonna put that shit right on this platform and start earning. All right.
Now that win is giving me passive income for a lifetime, baby. Let's go.
28 XRP. I circled it. Stamp. I'm down for that. I'm with it. I mean, I was willing to bet however many XRP y'all was willing to put up. I'll match anybody.
I thought we were doing like 100. You feel me? Like 28. Come on.
I got all my XRP in 2016 and 17, so I'm stacked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah.
Anyway.
Likewise.
All right, bet.
I bought mine during the dip when it hit 29 cents. That's when I got mine.
Man, there's been some good DeFi developments on the XRPL. I mean, this call in itself was just for anybody that was tapping in, man, this was a gem call. We went over so much good juice today and proved it and backed it all with good, valid information. These are the types of calls you guys got to start paying attention. Fuck all that opinion-based stuff. We're entering into a new era where people's opinions, unless they got credentials, people's opinions don't really matter. That's why we build our opinions based off of valid people with valid credentials. You know,
Facts,
go so much farther.
Yeah, no, 100%, bro. Hey, I just want to point out though too that this XRPL being on the EVM, I'm sure because isn't the gas fees on the EVM Axelar? So at some point we're gonna probably have to have Axelar with this, I would imagine, right?
I'm pretty sure that to some degree XLR is going to be utilized as a gas mechanism for the EVM sidechain. I just don't know to what extent exactly. I have a video of the co-founder of XLR saying that. But yeah, off the top of my head, I just don't know to what extent. I'm pretty sure though. Yeah, pretty sure anybody that's using XRPL EVM sidechain is going to have to use XLR for gas fees. Which at the end of the day, you know, yeah, it's a lot of good stuff coming. This year is going to be really great. People got to get refocused, realign with developments that are happening and get their mindset out of this funk that's been delivered to us over the past consecutive couple of years where people are fearful, they're protective over their assets. And I'm not saying not to be, but start to at least learn how to generate cash flow with your assets so that way when you're comfortable, you can. Don't be stagnant on your education. You could be stagnant on your assets. Don't touch your assets by any means. Keep them in cold storage or an institutional grade storage. Take that route. But at least in the process while you're waiting, learn. Freaking learn. I can't stress enough. You got to educate. Education is powerful only when implemented properly.
Yeah. Facts, dude.
That's all I got today. We got 2,700 people on the call, so we do appreciate you guys for coming out. If you guys were here with us from the beginning of today's call, you already know this one was an absolute banger. Really great stuff. If you guys want to know where to find us, anybody wants to tap into the private community, so much value that we offer and deliver. Kev, Aqua, they're generating Zoom calls, private breakdowns all throughout the week. I myself am constantly going over fundamental developments, hosting Zoom calls. Literally, probably, what would you guys say our community has? How many Zoom calls each week privately?
Like five Zoom calls.
5, 6, something like that. A lot. It's a lot. It's more than it's a lot. Sometimes we do like a site. We do like 2 days, 3 days.
Those are the good days. Yeah, those are the real good days. Come in line with us. We got a storehouse, a wealth of information in the private community, access to institutional deltas and dark pools via our algorithmic institutional scalper. We got access to some of the best and most hidden research in the game via our global research team, right? Especially in the private Discord. You guys got researchers from all over the globe finding documents, summits, panel discussions, and insights from some of the largest organizations that never reached the mainstream. If you look at all the videos that we shared on today's call, outside of Bank XRP's video of David Schwartz, none of them have more than 100 views. So we're showing you guys, yeah, bro, straight up, it's just the honest truth at the end of the day. It's the research that everybody wants to tap into but doesn't know where to find. So come find it with us here at CYPRX. We'd love to have you guys on the team. That being said, everybody have a good weekend. Be safe out there if you guys are going to do anything. If you're in the States for July 4th, keep your eyes open, be aware of your surroundings, understand who you're positioning yourself around. Remember, you are a reflection of the content that you consume. You're a reflection of the people that you place yourself around. Just be productive, be productive and make the best of yourselves. As always, many blessings. You guys got anything for the people listening in?
Not much love. And man, I just can't get out of my mind David Schwartz saying, wait till there's 100 times more the amount total value locked in DeFi. It's 100 times, baby.
Yeah, man.
That video was from the CoinDesk video, right? Where he said that?
Yeah.
Let me run that back. That could be our exit. Let me find that real quick. That could be our exit video.
Bro, Trump passed that bill, boy. You know what time it is. You feel me? They passed that big, beautiful bill, baby. You know what time it is. You know.
I don't even know where that bill. I have so many tabs open. Fuck it. I'm not going to find it right now. It'll take me another 5 minutes.
I think it was the very first David Schwartz video you shared today.
So it was on CoinDesk. It was on CoinDesk's Twitter. Let's go to their Twitter real quick. So many freaking tabs open. CoinDesk. Let's go see.
Beautiful.
Yeah, while you're waiting for that, definitely be safe out there, guys. Be, super aware of your surroundings, and yeah, just be careful with the fireworks too. In general, like there was a big fireworks shop that blew up here in California, and some people, didn't work out too good. So be careful when, you know what I mean? Just the distance away from these fireworks and stuff too. So shit gets real with these burns and people getting hit by them.
Yeah, bro, I got too many tabs open. I don't remember where the heck to find it.
It's all good.
I just remember it was on that CoinDesk, the Apex. Apex 2025, David Schwartz. Next wave of adoption is going to come from institutional DeFi. Stamp that.
Facts.
Hey, did you see from like July 14th to the 18th is considered crypto week?
No, I didn't know that. It was considered crypto week. According to who? Like as far as
every day is crypto week for me.
Yeah, right.
Hold on. It's from a
Like a
jurisdiction.
real national crypto week holiday type of thing? Or?
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna have to share this before we get off. I'm sure everyone's curious now.
July 14th to 18th.
I don't pay attention to nothing mainstream, yo. I don't know. None of that.
France and the EU House of Representatives designated July 14th to the 18th as Crypto Week. Additionally, July 14th is National whatever Mac and Cheese Day, but now they've switched it to Crypto Week.
Wait, hold on. They replaced National fucking Mac and Cheese Day now for Crypto Week?
Yeah, bro. So now I think they're gonna pass the stablecoin. That Genius Act gonna get passed during that week.
This world is just so I mean, this is a whole nother rabbit hole we could go down. But man, the holidays, bro. Just look into the seven the deadly sins and how each holiday gravitates towards each sin and whatnot. It's wild, man.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't be celebrating normal holidays that people be celebrating. I'm not in that matrix.
How I celebrate.
Yeah, bro.
National fucking Mac and Cheese Day. What is that bullshit?
Hey man, look, just put that $5 trillion injection in crypto, man. That's all I'm saying. You know, I don't ask for much.
Gradual and then sudden.
Yeah.
Gradual.
Go up and never stop, baby.
Yeah, so that's all we got for you guys today. Really great call, really great insights. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure, Kev, we got to get your X up and going, man, so that way we can add you onto these lives. So that way it's another live that we have on
a private chat. I posted it like a while ago. I don't know if you can see it.
Bet I'll tap into it and make sure so that way we can add you into the live call. So that way your platform's streaming too. I'm just going to show you guys. These are the two gentlemen's pages, just in case you guys are following me. You're one of my followers, right? Make sure you guys tap in. You got pages just in case you guys are following me. I don't want to. There we go. This is Aqua's profile right here. If you guys are one of my followers, go tap in, right? Mr. Aquaman. Make sure you guys are following the right page. You got a bunch of impersonators out there. I mean, I know it sucks at the end of the day battling impersonators, but just be mindful. You know, we'll never reach out to you, or we'll never try to DM you first or ask you guys to join our community or whatever, right? You guys can do that on your own behalf by clicking on the proper website links in our bios. So this is my page. And then if you guys are, part of Aqua's community, then definitely go tap in, give myself a follow, non-biased, non-opinionated research, all just documents and content straight from the source, from institutions and people that actually have credentials in this space, right? Same thing with the CYPRX research tab. You guys don't follow the CYPRX research. Their team, astronomical. They're always killing it. Same thing, nothing but documents, nothing but insights from the largest organizations in the game, straight from the source. You know, come tap in with us. We'd love to have you on the team. And if not, there's so much free content out there that we deliver. I can't stress enough that ignoring this, you're only just doing yourself an injustice. So blessings to you guys. You guys take it easy.
Peace.